પ્રોગ્રામ છે મે મહિનાના લાસ્ટ વીકથી આપણે શરૂ કરેલું. એમાં વચમાં પેટર્ન આપણે સીટ કરેલા, પણ આજે તો 25મો એટલે આપણે એટલે સિલ્વર જ્યુબિલી નામ, સિલ્વર જ્યુબિલી પ્રોગ્રામ. અને સિલ્વર જ્યુબિલી આમ પેલું ચાંદી કહેવાય, પણ આપણે તો ચાંદી, સોનું, હીરા, માણેક કે બધાનો એક શબ્દ જ્વેલરી. જ્વેલરી વિશે આ વખતે તમને રસપ્રદ બધી માહિતી મળશે. આપણે સિદ્ધાર્થભાઈ પરીખ આપવાના છે, પોતે તેમાં એક્સપર્ટ છે. પહેલા તો મને ખબર છે નાના વખતે તારે પેલું આપણે આવે ને પેલું ચાંદી કે સોનાનું તો વાલ કે વાલ ભાર, રતી ભાર. મને તો આ વાલ એટલે શું કહેવાય ખબર જ નથી પડે. હવે આપણે એવું આ પેલા હીરા માણેકમાં કેરેટ હોય તો કેરેટ એ બી ખબર નહોતી આપણને. તો ધીમે ધીમે ખબર પડી, પણ હવે આજે બધી ઘણી બધી માહિતી, રસપ્રદ માહિતી જાણવા મળશે. જ્વેલરીનો ઇતિહાસ કઈ 5000 એમને જે બધી વાત કરી મને થોડી, રાજા મહારાજાઓ બી કેવી રીતના જ્વેલરીનો કરતા હતા, એ બધું રસપ્રદ માહિતી આપણને. અને થોડું તમને શું કહેવાય, ડિફરન્ટ કાઇન્ડ ઓફ જ્વેલરીની માહિતી બી, નોલેજ આપણું જરા એક્સ્ટ્રા કરશે એવું સિદ્ધાર્થભાઈ તૈયાર છે. તો આપણે હવે અમને કહીએ કે એમનું શું કહેવાય, એ જ્વેલરી ઉપર એમનો જે કાર્યક્રમ છે શરૂ કરે સિદ્ધાર્થભાઈ.
મુકેશભાઈ, આજે એનિવર્સરી છે, 2 શબ્દો કહો. ઉમેશભાઈ.
Umeshbhai is listening to something.
He's listening to music.
25th anniversary of a series of cultural programs launched by 2 stalwart organizations, Seattle, Gujarati Seattle Seniors and Seattle Asu Seva, and matching jewelry program. Whether organizational or individual, anniversary always match with the jewelry. For that, congratulations to both Praveenbhai and Umeshbhai. And as a jeweler, I wish that there should be golden and silver jubilee as well. And they say that the wish by the jewelry always gets fulfilled. Now, jewelry is always luring, especially when you are at the receiving end. And all of you are at the receiving end. But hold your heart. You are not going to get jewelry, but jewelry lesson. And don't get disheartened, because this jewelry lesson will be all the more important than the jewelry. Because to the female folk, it will equip them to buy a right jewelry at the right time, from the right place, at the right price. And even to male also, it will teach them buy and wear the jewelry themselves. And you know that now from Bollywood to Hollywood stars, men have been wearing jewelry directly or indirectly. Now, jewelry is an ornamental item made from the base metal and associated gems for the purpose of adoration. Now, this instinct of adoration is so strong that if you are asking your girlfriend to select out of 2D a date with you or a diamond, then she will at once brush you aside and select the diamond. And the instinct of learning jewelry can be so strong that I will tell you a real life story. This is the story about Erte, who was a multifarious designer, including jewelry, and he was Russian French. See, at the age of 20 to 40, he was a fashion designer, and of that class that he was featuring the prestigious magazines of Vogue and Harper Bazaar at that time, and he worked for 20 years with them. Now, I'm talking of 1920s nearby. Then from 40 to 60, he took up the costume design for operas and theaters, and to making the sets also. And he went to such a height that he was called by MGM also, and he worked and made the sets for the films like Ben-Hur. Now from 60 to 70, he was in oblivion, didn't do anything. Again, from 70 to 85, he took up the drawing artist, visual art. And to that class, that his paintings were bought by the world-class museums like Smithsonian Museum of USA and Victoria Albert Museum of India. Now you can imagine such a multi-designer, but he was not satisfied. And so he started jewelry designing at the tender age of 86. I'm repeating, 86. And all of you are below 86. So I think I can say that you please lend me your ears. Now, jewelry is supposed to be the most comprehensive thing about jewelry is that it is most incomprehensive. Because jewelry has multi aspects, such like say material, then the design, then the forms, the motifs, the purpose, etc. And now, when we talk of this designing, when we talk of this designing, now you can see that the difference of the now when we take up this designing, it is because of its complexity. Now, first I will take the art, science, and business of the jewelry so that you are equipped. And thereafter, I will take the history of the jewelry so that you can not only have the interest but can really appreciate in the right spirit. And you can do that with the right spirit, and so you can appreciate and you will really feel great proud about it. And that is, in fact, my objective of this talk. Now, before this talk, I put a disclaimer that this is not a sales talk. So as a result of this talk, if anyone feels repenting for not buying the jewelry, or anyone feels urged to quickly buy the jewelry, in either case or in any case, I am not responsible. Now, I will start with two main topics, the solitaire diamond and gold jewelry. The reason being that these two are universally and unanimously accepted as the two milestones in the buying journey of any person. So, for example, solitaire diamond at the time of proposing and giving a ring, or maybe in the later stage, at the maturity stage. And gold jewelry, as you know, at the time of marriage is a bridal jewelry. Now, starting with the diamond. Now, diamond is world's the most beautiful and most remarkable substance. This is because of its brilliance, fire, scintillating, transparency, and hardness. This is the hardest substance possible. And at the same time, it is the world's most valuable and the costliest substance. So, solitaire buying has to be balanced between the quality and the cost. And the base buying solitaire is not the base solitaire, but it is the balanced solitaire. Now, scientifically, diamond is a mineral. And like no two human faces are same, no two diamonds are same. And that is why it is intangible, and its judgment is always subjective. At this stage, if you compare with the gold is a metal and it can be standardized, whereas diamond cannot. Gold can be standardized and it is a tangible thing. And that is why, this gold is always rated with the currency and not the diamond. Now, if I make the thing simpler, if there is a 24 karat gold, so you and me, we both are maybe right telling it at 24 karat. But suppose if there is a diamond, one diamond, and if you say, I like it, if I say I don't like it, then both of us may be right. If I put it in a little simpler way, say two world-class beauties Susmita Sen and Aishwarya Rai. Now, if you consider their dimensions, say height, weight, then say you and me agree to that, and we may both be right. But if you talk, if I ask you say, who you like, you will say Susmita, I will say Aishwarya, and still both of us may be right. This is because, say, it is individual judgment. Now, in such cases, how to judge the diamond? And another thing is that the most important property of diamond is the brilliance. And till this day, there has not been any measure which can clearly tell you what is the brilliance, and still research is going on. Now, under these circumstances, it has been done that diamond has been judged by what is called the 4C characteristics. I think many of you may be doing that. Now, first C is the carat. A carat means the weight of the diamond. It indicates the size, and it can be in terms of say 10 carats, 10 cents, 5 cents, 20 cents. And it can be, and the solitary diamond is at least 100 cents. Now, the diamond can be judged from, can you see this? Now, the cents of these diamonds can be judged. So this is starting from 10 cents to about 2 carats. So you can always, with such thing, you can always approximately judge the size of the diamond. Now, next is the cut. The cut is the most important factor, and it is nothing but, first of all, it is the shape of the diamond. Say round or fancy shape like emerald or heart shape or something like that. And secondly, it is the dimension and the proportion and the finish. Finish means the polish and symmetry. So for example, what you first see is this is the round diamond, but this is a heart-shaped diamond. The bracelet is of the heart shape. Now, usually the highest light you get in the, with all the similar things, highest light you get in the round diamond because it has got more facets. And in the fancy diamonds, you get the less light. But still, fancy diamonds are used because of the variety of the design what you get in the ultimate necklaces or what. Now, the cut, when you say for example, now diamond you begin as a reverse cone. And the top face is the table and the down is the height. So all the dimension of the diamonds are in terms of its diameter. Say you say height is proportional, what percentage of diameter, then individual angles, it has got the angles. When you have cone, there is an angle. So this angles also has got certain proportion. Then it is an ideal diamond. An ideal diamond is the one which has the maximum brilliance. And brilliance means when it passes, the light passes to the diamond, the maximum light is reflected. Now, the third one is the color. Now, the color is very important in the sense that it is visible. So just like cut or brilliance, this color is important and it is graded from the scale D to Z. And higher the grade, it is better because it is white. Now, color comes in the diamond because of the impurities at the time of formation. And whenever light passes on the diamond, whichever light it retains and allows to go, that retained light comes as a color. So the base diamond is the flawless diamond, which doesn't retain any light, but these are the very rare. And so next one is D, E, F, G, like that. And the last one is the clarity. And clarity refers to the blemishes within the because of the formation or on the surface of the diamond. And this, which you can measure, which you can see with the, not with the naked eye, but with the eyeglass, something like this. So you must have seen the people seeing the eyeglass. So this can give you what is the clarity of the diamond. So out of this, the first one, the C carat is the tangible. The first three are the internal characteristics, external characteristics, and the fourth one is the internal characteristic. And again, the price of the diamond varies exponentially as per the size. That means, suppose if you have 20 diamonds of 5 cents each, and total makes 100 cents. That is on one side. And if you have one single diamond of solitaire 1 carat, there will be great difference in the price. Now, when you judge, when you go for the diamond, now there is certain thumb rule. Now, first of all is the budget. Now, one should not think, even when the Ambanis must be planning about their family marriage, they must be thinking about the budget. Because say any budget is not it has not a sky limit. Say any exclamatory mark is always end with the full stop. So one should not should not feel shy about deciding the budget of the solitaire diamond. Then the next one should decide about the size of the diamond. Now size depends upon for what purpose you are using. Say any size can be used, but the thumb rule is, suppose if you want to go for a diamond for your earrings, it is around 1.5 carat and nearby. If you want to go for the ring, it has to be nearly 2 carat. And if you want to wear single as a pendant, it has to be nearly 3 carat. Now again, it depends upon the physiognomy of your body. For example, the small diamond doesn't look good on the big loop and vice versa. Also, now suppose if someone has a very long neck, then only the collar type of necklace suits. And otherwise, even if some is beautiful, but the neck is not the long, then it will not suit, and it will, in the collar, will more look like a dog collar. Now, like this, you decide about the size of the diamond. Then the third one is the cut of the diamond. So it has to be excellent in all the proportions. And you should not do any compromise with that, because it is the one which will give the maximum brilliance. And about the color, now the balanced color, not too much and not too less, is something like in the range of G color. Because if you go beyond G color, then the white from extra white is not going to give you it is a matter of diminishing return. And when you go from the lower quality of the white, then you will not enjoy, because many times it will look yellowish or even darker. So you lose the charm of solitaire. And last is your clarity. So you can go in the clarity range of about VS1. Now suppose your budget is not permitting to this, you can not compromise in first three, but you should compromise in the last characteristics, because it is the internal characteristics, and the impurities are not seen by the naked eye. Rest of the three things anyone will see, and you wear solitaire to show to others, and that is the thing. And with this, you can, with this combination, you can have the best diamond. Now I will tell you about certain myths about this diamond. Now, first is the certificate. Nowadays, you must be listening many about the certificate of a diamond. And it is a fact that there is nothing like a word certificate, but actually it is a diamond report. But you cannot certify a thing which cannot be standardized, and hence diamond cannot be standardized. So it is just a diamond report. And second thing, it is never guaranteed. And you will find that the first sentence they write is that this report is neither a guarantee nor a warranty, and the laboratory who has done this report is not liable. That means that suppose if you buy a G grade diamond, it can be turned out to be a slightly 1 grade lower or 1 grade higher. And this happens with the different laboratories. When they judge the diamond, you get different grades. Many times it has happened that even the same laboratory, when you give them for testing, there has been a different report. That is one. And second important thing is you don't read certain things between the lines. For example, there are certain borderline diamonds. These diamonds cannot be revealed on the certificate. And so you lose the advantage. And if you can buy this diamond, then you have the really cost advantages. But now this certificate will not really reveal. Now it is something, and that is why, there is one poet, Gujarati poet, he has said to those people who have been asking the proof of God. So he has told, his name was Jalan Matri, he said, if you have faith, what is the necessity of the proof? Where is the signature of God in Quran? Now, similar thing, a Pananpuri Shire, expert on diamond, has said about the so-called certificate. If you have a tact, where is the need of certificate? Where is the Kohinoor diamond is attached with the certificate? Of course, I advise that you do go for a diamond report, but don't overemphasize or not overlook it. Say you use it as a first guideline, and then go to an expert consultant, and then you will be rightly advised, and then you get the base diamond. So it is like, suppose an air traveler gives you a ticket of Seattle, you can come to Seattle, so that the reason of the ticket is you don't land either at Portland or maybe at Vancouver. But once you are in Seattle, to see the base of Seattle, you should go to a real guide who knows about the Seattle, somebody like Umesh Bhai. And so this is how the diamond report goes. Now, I am coming to the gold jewelry. Now, and one more thing, that this diamond, now there are certain diamonds which are very high size, rare in the size, and the rare in color, and these are the diamonds which are used as the collector's items, and they fetch the astronomical price. And this is the most of our Maharajas and even the celebrities and the nobles in India and abroad, they have been using. And I'll coming later on to certain Maharajas about this. Now coming to the gold jewelry. Now, a jewelry, as I told you, has many facets, and one of them is the base metal. So for the base metal, you can use either the gold or silver or platinum, but the most commonly used is the gold. Now, this is the reason, because gold is not only the pious, but it is supposed to be not only the costly, but it is supposed to be a pious metal as well. And it is supposed to be related to sun god. And it is believed that this universe has been created from the Hiranyagarbha or womb of gold. And that is why cosmically in Hindu religion, this gold has been very much revered. And especially on the occasions of Akshaya Tritiya or Dhanteras, Punya Nakshatra, like that, the people buy the gold to be very lucky. And in our Indian tradition, it is to give the gold to the bride, to the daughter when at the time of marriage, and what we call as a stridhan. So this is for her protection and for her use in the emergency. Now, scientifically, the gold doesn't oxidize or doesn't get corroded. So it is linked with the permanency and eternity. And that is also another importance of the gold. Now, when you go for the base metal as a gold, there is other alternative, white gold as well as rose gold also. Now, this is all depends upon the mixing of the other metals, and it gives the color. Now, whether it is in the jewelry, you should go for white or for gold or yellow color, or for that matter, even the rose color, it is individual matter. But by and large, the jewelry, the gold jewelry with the gemstones is with the base metal of gold, and diamond jewelry is with the white gold. And many times you can interchange the polish as well. Now coming to the gemstones. Now gemstones are the objects or mineral which in the cut and crystalline form can be used in the jewelry. Now there are about 9 main gems. Out of them, 5 are precious. They are diamond, ruby, emerald, sapphire. And there are four, for example, coral, then the yellow sapphire, cat's eye, and the garnet, red garnet. Now, this color stone has been very much used. They are supposed to have a celestial power. Now, each stone has been connected to each graha, what we call, and each graha is connected to the god. And that is why we have considering stone as an sort of allotropic power and philanthropic power, in the sense that they can avert the ill luck and they can avert the ill health. And that is why they have been, and this belief has been so much deep rooted in the Indian psyche that even there has been a tradition of wearing all the nine these jewels as a Navratna. Now, and Maharajas have been wearing this in certain Indian tradition. To the bride, at least one item of Navratna has been given. And even the Maharajas have been using this Navratna and considering as the symbol of their position, power, and prestige. Now for a change, I mean, I'll show you some of the color stone and the jewelry made out of that. So, for example, this is the ruby. Now, I will take you further. This ruby and this design is a geometrical design. Now, think that way that in any of this design, any color combination can be done. It can be emerald, it can be sapphire, or any design. This can be floral or anything. So that is the variety. Then this one is the emerald build. This is the, can you see this emerald? No, this is a different design, Jhumka design. Now, this is sapphire. Now, the bluish in color. Take this. In our astrology, we believe that sapphire is not that good for the use. So we use the blue topaz or even use the different type of the mine available. And now there is a combination, and of course there is a pearl. I hope you can see this. Can you see? Now this pearl, can you see this? Now this pearl is the small earrings, pendant, and they can be changeable. So this is orange pearl, can be with the white and can be with the ash pearl. Now such type of design can be very much good for the day-to-day office work. And when all these gems put together, you have something like a Navratna necklace. Now this can be worn even as one of the bridal jewelry in certain communities, and it can even this is worn by the Maharajas. So it is not only the combination of cluster of color, but it is, please think it as a
I don't know.
flower.
It's not. It's dull.
And when I talk to you about the solitaire, I just want to show you as well. Say this solitaire, there could be a full solitaire necklace. This is a single solitaire, 2 earrings, and this is a bracelet, and even this is a solitaire ring. Now I'll come to later that this is the matching concept was actually introduced by Napoleon in the France, and then it has been adopted all over the world. Earlier people were making individual things, but not the matching. Now the next to gems now is the pearl. Now pearl is the a hard substance having a lustrous finish, and it is made in the marine water mollusk with the nacre. And it has been, the pearls have got different varieties. And you must have heard nowadays, so the pearls can be the real pearls, the pearls have got mainly two varieties. So either they are the natural one or they are the
Yeah, I don't know what.
cultured one. In fact, both the pearls are real one, but there is a vast difference. The real pearl are nowadays rare. You know, because when you get about say 10,000 oysters, you can hardly get one real pearl. And earlier it was Basrai pearls, you must have heard. So those were the real pearls. Nowadays they are not available. The people who are having Basrai will not sell. And these Basrai pearls are highly, sometimes Basrai pearls are more, 3 times more costlier than the gold. And they are being auctioned. So nowadays most of the pearls are cultured pearls. And it can be fresh water or uh, it can be same is the salt water. So there is so for example, you must have heard these South Sea pearls and the Baroque pearls and all. So these are all the different varieties, and they come in the different color. And the main thing is the luster, color, shape, size, and depends upon individual liking. One can go for the pearls. And comparatively, pearl is supposed to be a little less costlier jewelry. Now coming to the different purpose of the jewelry. So as you know, it can be for the daily wear, it can be for the working wear, it can be for the temple jewelry, it can be for the royalty, it can be even for the temple jewelry for the god. So all are the different purpose. And
Interesting. Whatever is hanging is not bothering him.
now, for example, say this is a temple jewelry. Now it has got all the Lakshmi ji all over here, like that. Now the jewelry is given from baby to when she becomes bride, again when she delivers a baby. So it is told that from baby to bride and from bride to baby. Now this is a baby thing when it's given to the newborn. Now this is to, of course, to a school going or college going girl, something like that. It's an heart shaped diamond. Can you see it? Little bit. And this is to a bride, the little bigger size. So all the purpose of the jewelry. And as I told you, that there is a difference of
He's got some tumor, I think, hanging.
so these are the
I don't know.
so this is the yellow gold, this is the rose gold, yellow gold, rose gold, and this is the white gold. So all different golds. These are all the gold bangles. Now now I will talk about the after this jewelry. Now I will talk about the history of the jewelry. Now all the historians have not highlighted the history of Indian jewelry the way they should have been. And today, as a non-historian, I am going to highlight to you, and I am sure that after knowing about it from today onwards, you will be really proud of our Indian heritage. Now, you know the history of Indian jewelry is as old, the same as the history of India. Both have their deep root 5,000 years, about 5,000 years back. So 3000 BC in the Indus Valley civilization. And that was the era just touching to Ramayana Mahabharata. Now, that ancient India was known as the golden country, or it was known as the Sone ki Chidiya. This was because you will be very proud that in the world, India had the highest reserve of the diamond and the color stone and gold put together. And you will all the more be proud to know that for 2000 years, India was the sole and the only manufacturer and supplier of diamond to the entire world. Now you can imagine what was the status of India in those days. And even say India was the main supplier of many gems. Say it was supplying ruby of Burma. From Burma, it was supplying to ruby. Then from Ceylon, it was supplying the very color stone. Then from Kashmir, it was supplying sapphire. And in those days, this was all Akhand Bharat. So Burma, Ceylon were the part of this Akhand Bharat. And all these things were going to out of world. And so you can know that all the world routes, sea or land, they were routing to India. This was a great thing. And you know, the Kembe, our Khambat, and Bharuch, Calicut, Diu, Goa, and these were the ports, and they were so enjoying the highest status in those days. Now, when coming to this, when talking about this diamond, India had the Golconda mines, and that was the main Golconda diamond was very popular. Now, at this stage, I would like to talk to you about some interesting stories about the Maharajas, just to divert you from this technicality. Now, amongst all, legendary diamond is the Kohinoor diamond. And this is the most famous. This Kohinoor diamond was in 1300 AD was mined from Golconda mines. Then it had gone in the various hands of the local ruler Maharajas and even the outside rulers like Alauddin Khilji, Ibrahim Lodi and all. And finally it had gone in 1520 in the hands of Babur. So the history of Kohinoor, you can say from Babur to Aurangzeb and from Aurangzeb to Nadir Shah and from Nadir Shah to the Queen of England. Now, I wish Kohinoor himself would be able to speak and tell about these stories. Now, the one interesting story related to Kohinoor is it has always been bartered, or it has been betrayed, or it has been snatched, or it has been gifted, but it has never been sold. There has been no trading of the Kohinoor diamond. And regarding that is why the estimate of the price, it is said that suppose if a strong man, he throws the stone in east, west, south, and north direction, and one stone highest in the sky, then what is the space created? If you fill that space with the gold and gems, still the cost of Kohinoor will be higher than that. The Kohinoor is the size of a ping pong ball, and it can be only held in the palm. Now the story goes like this: that when the Nadir Shah defeated the Mughals, last Badshah Muhammad Shah, so both of them, then they were negotiating, and both of them in one of the meeting, when actually Babur, Nadir Shah had already taken the Mayurasan and many of those jewels like that. But Muhammad Shah had hid the Kohinoor diamond in his turban. Now, somehow that the Nadir Shah has come to know. So, what smartly he did, so he told to Muhammad Shah that we have a tradition to exchange the turban as a good gesture. So, I am giving you mine. So, he gave his cap. And Muhammad Shah had to give his turban. And after getting that later, Babur took out that Kohinoor diamond from the inside of the turban and he exclaimed with the joy, "Oh my God, it's a mountain of light." And he called it Kohinoor. That is how the name Kohinoor started. Earlier, this same diamond had different names like Mughal, Babur and all. Now, still the story continues. From Nadir Shah And from this, all it had gone ultimately to Ranjit Singh and to his son, Dulip Singh ji. Now, when the East India Company came and when they take over the Punjab, so they took over that Kohinoor, and then it had gone to the Queen Victoria. Now, you will be surprised to know that in 1850, when Kohinoor diamond had gone to Queen of Victoria, everybody was so much so astonished that they wanted to show it to the public. So they made a great, that is known as the Great London Exhibition. And in that, they displayed the Kohinoor Tower. But to utter surprise, all the known people, they could not appreciate it. And in fact, they commented. So immediately the royalty, they decided to recut the diamond. The original Kohinoor diamond at that time was 186 carat. And it was specially cut. And it took quite some time. And it was reduced to its size of about 106 carat. So nearly 40, you can imagine what is the fate of this thing. So this diamond, thereafter, it is giving the light. And so today it has been in the crown and it is in the Tower of London. Anyone can see. But our need is such that we have to pay fees to see our own diamond. And there has been a claim of this Kohinoor by India, Pakistan, Afghanistan, but it has not been considered by UK. Now, one still more interesting thing about the Kohinoor, that Queen Victoria said that I was always against that we should not take the countries like India. And she wrote to her daughter that whenever I wear Kohinoor diamond, I feel very uncomfortable. So now this is the thing about the Kohinoor diamond. And one more thing about the Jacob diamond. Now Jacob diamond was also 186 carat, and this was from the mine of South Africa. Now this was first sold to the last Nizam's father. Now because of some dealing, something happened. So he had to, perforce, he didn't like, so he had to get this diamond. Now he was being a Nizam, he said, since I don't like this diamond, it will not be on my head, but it will be on my toe. So he sat and hid this diamond in his shoes. His son, the last Nizam, he somehow after his death, he found that diamond. And you see, he has been using this diamond as a paperweight. So these are such stories about this Maharajas and about this diamond. Now, coming to the jewelry coming back to this Indus Valley. Now, in Indus Valley, the initial jewelry, the people were very sophisticated and they were very skillful and they're very, very artistic. So, very initial jewelry were of, say, like a bone jewelry and all. You can see this, but still they've been so beautiful. Then, over a period of time, they slowly developed, and they were something like a gold pata, and they are more like a forehead jewelry. And you can see this thing, this forehead, you can be put on this thing. And you will be surprised that even today, the Rajasthani board design, board jewelry is still in use. And later on, they developed this jewelry, the new techniques of, say, embossing, then the microgranulation, the embossing technique and microgranulation and filigree work. And you can see how nice embossing has been done. Now today also this embossing is one of the very popular jewelry amongst the people. Now, the surprising part was that our artisans and the jewelers, those have been in the, say, earlier centuries, there have been many outside influence. There were Portuguese, Dutch, the Britishers, and all these people, but still they were never influenced. Our jewelry was never influenced, and so they were unique in their own way. Now is only when the Mughal came, with the advent of Mughal, now they have been with the advent of Mughal, they brought the new innovation, and Yeah. Now come, because you will have to show the thing. Now, with the advent of Mughal, they brought the new techniques in the jewelry. The main thing was the jartar, what we call the minakari. And then they improvised the kundan work. That is what we call the setting of the jewelry. Then they had also the different designs, different motifs, like peacock. Peacock is one of the very popular motif what they have brought in. And even they got the style of the running order, the whale patti. So the running of this is with the gold, and all the pattis and all the flowers were of the ruby and diamond. Now, our so there has been a great improvement in our design, and our artisans have been so smart. They not only the blindly copied the thing, but they in fact improvise them, and they become the real good, and they make it such a great zenith that those jewelry became very popular, not in India amongst the nobles and maharajas, but even abroad. And even in the royalty, it is said that the Queen Victoria, at the time of coronation of her daughter-in-law, with the coronation of some coronation time, then she was wearing our Indian jewelry, Satlada. Now, you can see the same Indian jewelry has been can you see this?
Yeah.
And these Satladas have been worn by the Maharajas and all. And today, later on, Anuja will show you that these jewelries are used as the bridal jewelry and with a lot of variations. In the size, then all these different 5 strings, it can be changeable, and there can be ruby emerald also can be attached. So this can be most versatile jewelry. One can wear lifetime, even after marriage also. And as I told you, that these people, the Indian artisan had this micro granulation, what we call dana dana. Those techniques, the filigree, micro techniques, these are sort of comparatively lighter jewelry. Nowadays, these such jewelries have been very much used in our bridal jewelry, and these were the kadas which they had produced. Now, in the these have been popular even now in the Hollywood celebrities, and you must have seen in many of the awards functions like a Grammy or Oscar, they have been wearing such jewelries like this, or maybe even the armlets and something like that. Now, with the advent and with the rulers coming to India in the 19th and 20th century, our jewelry had real cross culture influences. And the unlike Mughal, where it was only one directional, here it was a multi-directional, in the sense that the foreigners, they copied some of our motifs and jewelry, because that was such a great influence of our Mughal jewelry and all. Now, you must have heard the name Tutti Frutti design by the Cartier. Now, it is supposed to be a very famous design, and it is known as the Tutti Frutti Cartier's design. In fact, Cartier has copied this from our South Tutti Frutti design. Now, there is a cluster of different gemstones. Now, we used to have the gemstone of bright colors, like red, orange, and they change it to little dull colors, which is popular in the Western. So now this is the design. Now, we have made some changes. So our Indian artisans have made such a changes that now they can be either Indian or even it can be Indo-American. So when at the end of the Mughal, our jewelry was known as the modern Indian jewelry. The first jewelry, as I told you before Mughal, was known as the traditional Indian jewelry, and they were also unique, antique, and artistic. After the Mughals, now these were known as the modern Indian jewelry that were unique, antique, and artistic. But after this advent of these rulers and all, And we got, and our artisans were so smart. So they not only they adopted that some of foreign techniques, like so for example, what was going on is, if you have heard the name of Art Nouveau, Art Deco, and all these periods, and plus even the motifs like what Arte has been using. Even Arte was influenced by our Indian jewelry, and certain of its motifs, like say wave and the certain women and all, they have been influenced by the Indian motifs. And these Indians with this cross cultural influence, they created such a jewelry that even not only that our Indian Maharajas have been wearing, but Indian Maharajas and nobles, they restricted themselves because they wanted to make it unique. And not only that, what they did, they into those jewelries, they incorporated the jewelry which were prominent in the Paris and all, so that they can always boast. And that is how the Cartier, you get the name of Cartier, then the Tiffany, then Bulgari, the Harry Winston. It's all these jewelers, they flourished basically because of our Indian jewelry. And this is the thing. And later on, they took over. And even the funny part was that even Maharajas were setting Indian stone by those people, the Cartier, using our Indian artisan. There was like the Cartier and all. And but in all, our artisans have been so smart, and we have made the jewelry. The hybrid, after the hybridizing, then the fusion and amalgamating in such a great jewelry that these are not only, I would say, Indian or Indo-American or Indo-Western, but they are the global jewelry. Now, I give you the example before concluding, that you can see what our people have made. Now, this, you can see these earrings. Now, has got the Persian design. Now, this has got our old Indian traditional design with this, and these colors and all, they have been popular in the Western country, and they have been in such a way that our bright colors is the popular in India, so we can use this thing as an Indian jewelry. If they want to wear over there, they can change over the stones. Now, this was the master technique used by them. Even Americans can wear, UK can wear, then UAE can wear, and our Indians, of course, can wear. Now, today, if you see most of our Indian girls and all, they prefer such changeable jewelry, so that they can, in the same cost, they have got it's a very smart way of buying, and they got number of effect with the matching dress and matching occasions. And now this is what we have adapted. Now, normally our jewelry is supposed to be the chunky and with big. Now this, whatever has been there in foreign countries, now we have also made these small designs. So now this can be universally used by the school-going girl for the working. And these stones is ruby, emerald, and you can have any number of stones of your choice. It can be black stone, and so that you can always with the versatility. And this is how we have done. And finally, just to dazzle you, we'll show what is the existing as a result of all this. Our artisans have created such a masterpiece, zenith of jewelry, that we can use all them as a bridal jewelry. For example, now see, this is one of its class. This is the peacock. You can see it's a three-dimensional, it's a vertical peacock. Now you may not feel it, and it has got the blue color. And this is with the bangles, and this is the set. So this can be used as a bridal jewelry for the gold. Now we have these are usually thumb rule that in the marriage ceremony we use the golden jewelry, and then during for the
we see this
you can see this.
on television.
Now this is, say, for example, for the reception, and it is the size can be any, the shape can be any, the polish can be any. But basically, see the intricate work our artisans have been doing. You see like that.
What is that?
Earrings.
And lastly, now this is a very smart design. Now these are these Indo-American in the sense that the lower parts also you can remove it. So there can be only one piece necklace. So you can wear for the normal party wear, whereas for the any heavy occasions like that. And any change of any customer's liking can be made in such type of things. And that is the beauty of our artisans design. Now Anuja will show you. Meanwhile, yeah.
Apa dah kira surat nak ke saya lah?
Now see, these can be changed and can be separately. You can wear separate change. You can wear this separately and you can wear both the things separately. Now in this design, now these are the unique in the sense that all types of cut of diamonds. There's the round, vertical shape, all color. This is the champagne color diamond. And now this is the earrings can be changed into small earring and bracelet like that. So these are the beauty of our artisans. And the last, this is
all readjustable. What he's saying.
and this is a beautiful set. Now it has everything. The base metal is the white gold. Then you have color stone, say golden topaz. You have pearls, you have diamonds, and this is versatile in the sense that it can be worn. You can change this thing into blue color or any color, and you can use in the for the cocktail or for the mehndi functions and something like that. The size can be small, big, and all. So this is how I would say that India is not on the map of jewelry, but I would say it is at the top of the jewelry world. And our the glorious legacy of 5,000 years from third millennium BC to this third millennium AD, it is, I am so confident, and I think now we will also feel confident that that legacy, glorious legacy, will continue millennium after millennium after millennium. And lastly, I will sum up with these two words, with the two couplets. If man is the cream of God's creation, if man is the cream of God's creation, bejeweled woman is the cream of man's creation. Thank you.
Can I make some comment, please?
Now, if you have any question answer, I think I don't know whether the time, yes, there's a time if you wish, you are open to any questions.
I have some
As
comments.
I told you, this was not a sales talk. So please let your questions be accordingly.
Can I make some comments, please?
Surely.
I was in Antwerp, and in Antwerp there is a very wonderful diamond museum. And
Yes.
it tells the story of the diamond first discovered in India, and then when Vasco da Gama came, along with many Jewish people went, and then it went to Netherlands, and then to Israel and Antwerp. And
Yeah.
in the old days, the Antwerp diamond business was in control of the Jewish people, but now it is in control of people of your origin.
Yeah.
India.
You are right. Now originally, you're right. Even before the Jews, first it was the Danish Netherlands people, and they were the base cutters. Even the recut of has been done from the Netherlands. It was taken over by the Jews, and then it was taken over by our Indians. And among the Indians, now, once you have told this thing, I cannot resist saying that in India, it is the community called Pahanpuri Jain. So they were the people who had gone to Antwerp, and they have slowly, they have captured everything, and this lasts even till today. And this legacy of diamond is even continues today. The Surat is the world's, even as on today, world's is the largest diamond cutting and polishing center. And 9 out of 10, that means 90% of the diamonds anywhere in the world is the Indian diamond.
Yeah.
So we should
Problem
be
though-
proud of that.
Yeah, but the problem is now there are synthetic diamonds made near the Miyag, and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
there is zirconium, which people don't
Oh, they,
consider as a diamond. It's very
Yeah.
difficult to make a judgment by an ordinary person whether it is a real diamond or not, as you correctly pointed
then
out.
why we are for?
And the other
Actually,
thing is, the
actually,
Bear
that is
family-
what I told you. There is a, it is the, as we call it, you should always go, not that I am a jeweler, not that I am doing this jewelry, but always whosoever, but you must go to a right, reliable person who is, knowledge is the first and the foremost important thing in this diamond.
Now,
In the gold, it's okay. You don't need any knowledge because you buy the gold, you get it tested because no diamond you can't. And that
Yeah.
is why the purchasing of the diamond is that. And,
Yeah.
and again, let me tell you one more thing. Say the diamond is not only, it is not only the thing of status or thing of beauty or thing of security status, it is the best investment. Now people only think of the gold because gold always varies in the price and all. The diamond always appreciates, but the gold is linked with the currency. Day to day, you read about the gold. So even the very small increase, you will feel, oh, it has been increasing. Whereas the diamond, and there have been cases, even in India, that in the old age, the people have been able, for example, I just give the example of one of my auntie, you know, she was staying in the 4,000 square feet flat in the Bombay with 4 servants. And just because of, and she was always telling that thanks to my husband that he had few of the solitaire diamonds and few of the solitaire rubies, which we had just taken for the pleasure. And then she was so much so happy about that. So this is the thing, and you know, you always see, and say, unlike paintings, now there is another thing. The paintings have been very much costly. You know, the painting of Ravi Verma goes in the lakhs. But you remember one thing, the paintings, number one, are perishable thing. Number two, the paintings, you cannot wear it, right? And whereas the jewelry is always, you can wear it, it is never perishable. You can pass it on to generation, to your daughter and daughter and daughter. And today, I am sure many of you must be having the old jewelry from your family. And see, that is the beauty. And it so happens that this fashion revolves around. I remember because my sister, when my mother had given her one of the one of the gold necklace at the time of wedding, it was lying in the 15 years in the locker. Then she told me, Siddharth Bhai, I'm getting rid of this thing. I said, okay. And you won't believe I didn't let her know that it is lying with me. And when I saw very recently, even she was to get married only the last month to her daughter, and out of all she selected that set, not knowing that it was belonging to her mother.
બીજા કોઈને સવાલ છે? બીજા કોઈ સવાલ હોય તો પૂછવા દો.
હા, ચોક્કસ.
સિદ્ધાર્થભાઈ, બીજા કોઈને કઈ પ્રશ્ન હોય તો પૂછવા દો.
તમે
પૂછીએ
પૂછો ને ખાસ, પ્રવીણભાઈ.
પૂછું અને ડાયમંડ what are the resale value of diamonds?
Now, this is a good question. Any resale value,
No.
resale value, તમે જે કહો, it depends upon the requirement. See, આજે કોઈ પણ વસ્તુ, તમે if you have a Ferrari car, now if you have Ferrari car, if you say what is the resale value, say there is no answer to that. Gold can have resale value because it is standardized, not the diamond. And many times people say that it is appreciated, not appreciated. The real way of knowing whether appreciated or not is not by selling value, but by actually buying value. So today you have a diamond, and after 10 years, if you go to buy the same diamond, whether it is you get in the same cost, and that is the way.
Yeah, it is costlier than gold, so there should be some resale value, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not because of cost, but because of the intrinsic nature of the diamond. Diamond you cannot standardize. So suppose you say this is the diamond, but then, and second thing, sometimes it so happens, it has been happening that you have a diamond.
સિદ્ધાર્થભાઈ,
Suppose somebody needs the money.
સિદ્ધાર્થભાઈ, તમે
and they say,
ગોલ્ડ છે ને તમે ત્યાં રાતના બી વેચી શકો. ડાયમંડ તમે વેચવા જાવ તો
નથી
વેચાશે.
વેચી શકતા,
right.
નથી
પણ હવે
વેચી
એના માટે
રિસેલ વેલ્યુ
Right.
રિસેલ વેલ્યુ વેરી લિમિટેડ.
nothing.
એટલે શું છે
Yes,
કે
yes.
ડાયમંડ ગોલ્ડ ઇઝ ધેટ વે આપણે કહે છે ને કાળી રાતે પણ કામ લાગે. So that is the thing, because it is standardized. The reason being standard, કારણ કે તમે બેંકમાં વેચો, તમે કોઈને બી વેચો, એની સ્ટાન્ડર્ડ માર્કેટ પ્રાઇસ હોય. So that is
ગોલ્ડમાં તો
always there.
બેંક લોન આપશે, ડાયમંડ પર લોન નહીં આપશે કોઈ
આપે
બેંક.
છે ડાયમંડ પર લોન તમને જોઈએ
ઓછી
એટલી
આપશે, બહુ ઓછી
ના
આપશે.
ના ના ના
ગોલ્ડ તો
diamond
ગોલ્ડમાં
ઉપર
તો ઘણી છે લોન આપનારા બી.
ના આઈ ટેલ યુ વોટ ડાયમંડમાં શું કરે એ લોકો વેલ્યુએશન કરાવે અને
હા.
વેલ્યુએશનના જે વેલ્યુએશન થાય એના 80% કેવી રીતે યુ ગેટ ધ લોન. બાકી ડાયમંડ ગોલ્ડ એવરીથિંગ યુ ગેટ ધ લોન. પણ મેઇન થિંગ ઇઝ વોટ કે સી હું તો એવું માનું કે સર્ટન થિંગ્સ યુ શુડ કીપ ફોર ધ ઇન્વેસ્ટમેન્ટ, certain things for pleasure, certain things for security, certain things for status like that. ને આપણે બધે એવું છે તમે એમ કરો કે એવી તમને ક્યારે કાળી રાતે જરૂર પડી? તમે અત્યારે યુ આર +70, એવી એક બી દિવસ એવો છે કે તમને કાળી રાતે જરૂર પડી હોય? નો. સો ઇન ધેટ કેસ તમારે ગોલ્ડ કે તમે રાખી મૂકો કેવું કરવું એના કરતા એન્જોય ધ થિંગ. અને તો જ્યારે જે થવાનું હશે એ થશે. સો ધેટ ઇઝ વોટ ધ ફિલોસોફી.
પણ હમણાં ધીમે ધીમે ડાયમંડ નો ક્રેઝ ઓછો થતો જાય છે. હવે બધું અનકટ ડાયમંડ, પોલ્કી ને એ બધું વધારે
ના
ચાલે
ના
છે.
ના પોલકી તો આપણું બહુ પહેલેથી છે. આપણે પોલકી ડાયમંડ જે કહીએ છીએ ને ઇઝ અનકટ ડાયમંડ. અનકટ ડાયમંડ તો રાઇટ ફ્રોમ ધ બિગિનિંગ અત્યારે તમે કોઈ બી બ્રાઇડલ સેટ જુઓ તો દે આર વિથ ધ અનકટ ડાયમંડ. નાઉ ધીસ ટુ આર ડિફરન્ટ કમ્પેરિઝન. મતલબ પ્યોર ડાયમંડ મેં જે હમણાં તમને બતાવ્યા ને પેલા સેટ એ બધા પોલકીના હતા, અમુક ગોલ્ડમાં હતા, જે વ્હાઇટમાં હતા એ પેલા ડાયમંડમાં. પણ અત્યારના ટુ બી વેરી ફ્રેન્ક સૌથી વધારે ક્રેઝ છે તો સોલિટર ડાયમંડ. અમારા ટાઈમમાં
સિદ્ધાર્થભાઈ,
અમુક એજ પછી લેતા હતા.
સિદ્ધાર્થભાઈ, ડાયમંડ એબિલિટી છે ને ઓનલી ફોર એ સર્ટેન કાઇન્ડ ઓફ પીપલ, નોટ ફોર એવરીબડી. જ્યારે ગોલ્ડ, સિલ્વર, એવરીબડી કેન, ઇવન એ પોર
Yeah.
પીપલ ઓલ્સો વિલ હેવ ગોલ્ડ ઓર સિલ્વર જ્વેલરી. ડાયમંડ યુ કાન્ટ.
ડાયમંડની કે નાની જ્વેલરી તો યુ કેન હેવ ઇટ. અત્યારે તમે બોલો ગોલ્ડ કરતા સસ્તી ડાયમંડની જ્વેલરી પણ હોઈ શકે. ઇટ ડિપેન્ડ્સ અપોન ધ સાઇઝ. તમે નહીં માનો, હવે છે ને બોમ્બેમાં કામવાળી છોકરીઓ દે હેવ બીન વેરિંગ ધ ડાયમંડ સ્મોલ ઇયરિંગ. છે એટલે એ તો કોસ્ટ કેન ઓલવેઝ ડિપેન્ડ્સ અપોન ધ ટાઈપ વોટ યુ સિલેક્ટ એમાં. પણ એક છે કે આપણે ત્યાં બી જનરલ ટ્રેન્ડ ફોર ધ નોર્મલ પીપલ ઇઝ ફોર ધ ગોલ્ડ એન્ડ ધ ડાયમંડ. પણ તમે સોલિટર ડાયમંડનું હવે અત્યારના તમે જોજો કે લગભગ યંગસ્ટર્સ, હવે અમારા વખતમાં શું હતું, આપણા વખતમાં કે પૈસા કમાઈએ થોડું થાય પછી વી ગો ફોર સોલિટર, થિંક ઓફ સોલિટર. અત્યારના આઈ નો માય સિસ્ટરનો સન કે he asked me to make a solitaire diamond for fiancé. અને I was surprised. મેં કહ્યું કે what about the money part? It's 1/3 my money, 1/3 my daddy's money and 1/3 bank's money. So this is છતાં પણ સોલિટર લેવાનું. This has been the એ કહે છે કે otherwise she will not be that happy and I will also not be happy. Okay, go ahead.
સોલિટેડ ડાયમંડ ઓલવેઝ પ્યોર હોય છે કે ડાઘ આવે છે એમાં વચ્ચે ક્યાંય?
કયા કયા?
સોલિટેડમાં ડાઘ આવે છે કે પ્યોર હોય
આ
છે?
બધી જાતના હોય સોલિટર. કોઈ પણ ડાયમંડ છે ને એ એવો ના હોય કે એમાં ટોટલી એક પણ એમાં ડાઘ ન હોય. થોડા તો હોય. ધેટ ઇઝ વાય ઇટ ઇઝ કોલ્ડ VVS. ઇટ ઇઝ વેરી વેરી સ્મોલ.
વેરી
ફ્લોલેસ ડાયમંડ તો બહુ રેર જ ભાગ્યે જ હોય. પણ VVS એટલે વેરી સ્મોલ, પછી VS આવે, પછી SI આવે અને પછી I આવે. સો ડિપેન્ડ્સ અપોન ધ ઇન્ક્લુઝન. બાકી એટલા માટે મેં જેમ કહું ને કે યુ શુડ ગો ફોર VS ક્વોલિટી ડાયમંડ. એટલે વેરી સ્મોલ ઇન્ક્લુઝન, તમે નરી આંખે ના દેખાય અને એટ ધ સેમ ટાઈમ એ તમારી લાઇટને પણ ન મારે. પણ તમે પાછા બહુ હાઈ એમાં નહીં જોવાનું તો કોસ્ટ બહુ પડે અને એનાથી તમને કંઈ વધારે બ્રાઇટનેસનો ફાયદો ન થાય.
બરાબર.
વ્હાઇટ છે પછી એક્સ્ટ્રા વ્હાઇટ, સુપર એક્સ્ટ્રા વ્હાઇટ ઇઝ નો સેન્સ. વન હેઝ ટુ બી વેરી પ્રેક્ટિકલ.
રાઈટ. થેન્ક યુ સો મચ. થેન્ક યુ.
But the Beer family, the Beer family controls all these diamonds, and India is getting only these small size diamonds. And the Beer family controls the diamonds.
Which
The Beer, yeah, they control the diamonds, and India is getting only these small diamonds because it is very, very labor intensive to process them, and therefore India provides cheap labor. And
તમે કેટલા વર્ષ પહેલાની વાત કરો છો? You know today what is the situation? Deep yearsમાં now they have almost gone. And deep years, instead of that, now there have been so many others, the Australians, Canadians and all. In deep years, the thing was, deep years ની એટલા માટે એ લોકોના પ્રોબ્લેમ છે કે India have been, they were giving the sites, એટલે કે selected diamonds to India. India એટલું બધું કમાતા હતા પણ ઇન્ડિયાએ ભૂલ શું કરી, એમાં પબ્લિસિટી કરી બહુ. એટલે DBS ના
હા,
શેર
આવું છું.
હોલ્ડર કહ્યું કે આ તો આપણા પૈસે ઇન્ડિયન સાર કમાય છે, એટલે લોકોએ બધું પોલિસી ચેન્જ કરી. તો પોલિસી ચેન્જ કરવામાં આપણા લોકો બી એટલા સ્માર્ટ છે, સો વી ફાઉન્ડ ધ અધર સોર્સ. So today DBS have the problem, not Indians, because we always get the best quality. તમે અત્યારના સુરતમાં તમે જુઓ, અત્યારે વર્લ્ડની બેસ્ટ એવી ડાયમંડ ફેક્ટરીઓ છે કે લોકો આંગળા નાખી જાય. સુરતમાં અને they have given even the cars, એ લોકો બધાના વર્કર્સને કાર આપી, એટલું બધું they have been કમાય બી છે અને સાથે એમના વર્કરનો ખ્યાલ રાખે છે.
Surat is the headquarter for diamond processing.
Yeah, it is a cut for the cutting, but not from the market. Market is the Bombay. કારણ કે સુરતમાં કટિંગ થાય, બધું થાય, પણ ultimately it comes to Bombay. And you will see that nowadays Jewish people also, they ultimately, આપણે ત્યાં બધાની ઓફિસ અમેરિકામાં છે, બધે છે, પણ Jewish people themselves come to India and then they go to Surat many times.
Yeah.
I have a question.
ચાઇના તમે જુઓ, બધામાં એમણે કર્યું છે, પણ આ એક ડાયમંડમાં કે આપણી જ્વેલરીમાં they have not been able to put their feet down.
You cannot stop.
ક્વેશ્ચન છે.
હાજી.
હમણાં કે છે કે બોમ્બેમાં તો બહુ કઈ ચાઇનીઝ ડાયમંડ ડાયમંડ કઈ ક્રિએટ કરે છે અને વેરી નાઇસ,
વેપર ફેસ.
પણ એ ખોટા હોય છે, સાચા નથી હોતા ને?
ના ના, એમાં શું છે કે ડાયમંડ જ્યારે નોર્મલ નેચરલ ડાયમંડ જે ફોર્મ થાય ને, એમાં ખૂબ વર્ષો જોઈએ, અને ઇટ ઇઝ હાઈ પ્રેશર એન્ડ હાઈ ટેમ્પરેચર. એને કારણે વર્ષો પછી ડાયમંડની ઉત્પત્તિ થાય. હવે સાયન્ટિફિકલી એવું શોધાયું છે કે તમે લેબોરેટરીમાં ખૂબ પ્રેશર અને ખૂબ ટેમ્પરેચર આપીને ક્રિએટ ધ ડાયમંડ, વેપર ફેસ ડાયમંડ જે બધા કહે છે ને, એ ડાયમંડ. સો દે આર ઓલ્સો ડાયમંડ, પણ કેન નોટ બી કમ્પેર્ડ વિથ ધ નેચરલ ડાયમંડ.
General Electric did it. General Electric made this, such diamonds.
Yeah, General Electric made, and there have been many other companies that have come up. But ultimately શું થયું, જ્યારે પહેલા ઝર્કોન આવ્યા ને, પહેલા તો સ્વરોસ્કી જ્યારે આવ્યા ને, ત્યારે એમ કહેવાતું હતું કે હવે આપણે રિયલ ડાયમંડ બહુ પ્રોબ્લેમ થશે. પણ રિયલ ડાયમંડ હેડ ધેર સ્ટેટસ. અને ઓન ધ કોન્ટ્રી એવું થાય કે જો રિયલ ડાયમંડ પછી જેમ ઓછા થવા મળે ને, એમ એની વેલ્યુ એકદમ વધતી જાય. અને બીજું શું છે કે આ જે રિયલ તમે ડાયમંડ પહેરો, હવે આ બધા ડાયમંડો તમે જે પહેરો ને, આ સ્વરોસ્કીના કે બધા, તો ઓવર અ પીરિયડ ઓફ ટાઈમ તમે સ્ક્રેચ પડે અને એ બધું થઈ જાય. યુ ડોન્ટ એન્જોય ધીસ. તો તમારી ઇન્વેસ્ટમેન્ટ ઇઝ ઝીરો ઇન ધેટ. Whereas in real diamond, there is an investment. That money retains.
Well, hardness of the diamond material, refractive index, etc. properties can characterize a diamond.
Diamond hardest એટલે છે કે મોહર સ્કેલ જે કહેવાય છે ડાયમંડનું, એ ઇટ હેઝ ગોટ ધ હાઈએસ્ટ મોહર નંબર. એન્ડ એના પછી બીજા બધા આવે. એટલે ડાયમંડને તમારે ડાયમંડ કટિંગ જે થાય છે, એ ડાયમંડથી જ થાય, બીજા કશેથી ન થાય.
હેલો
Yeah.
હેલો, હા, મારે પૂછવાનું હતું
હાજી.
કે આપણે જ્યારે બી ડાયમંડ ખરીદવાના હોય ત્યારે આપણા ઇન્ડિયન્સમાં પેલા એમ કે તમે અઠવાડિયું ઘરમાં અમને રાખવા આપશો, એની શું અસર થાય છે, એ સાચું છે કે ખોટું છે?
જો હવે આ માન્યતાનો સવાલ છે, મોટાભાગના લોકો હવે નથી માનતા, પહેલા માનતા.
હા, હવે નથી, ઓછું થઈ ગયું છે, પણ
હવે કોઈ માનતું નથી. એનું કારણ તમને કહું. કારણ કે તમે જુઓ કે પોણું વર્લ્ડ છે ને, એ લોકો એમની લાઈફનો પહેલો પ્રસંગ હોય ને, એન્ગેજમેન્ટ કેવું કહી કે દે ગીવ ધ ડાયમંડ. હવે આપણે ત્યાં બી ઇન્ડિયામાં બી એવું થયું છે. અને આમાં પણ શું કે છે, કાગનું બેસવું ને ડાળનું પડવું. એટલે બીજી એક ઇમ્પોર્ટન્ટ સમજવા જેવી વાત એ છે કે આપણા પૂર્વજો, જેમ હમણાં પ્રવીણભાઈએ કહ્યું ને કે આપણે ગોલ્ડ માટે વધારે બધાની ઈચ્છા હોય છે. આમ તો પહેલાના વખતમાં શું થતું હતું કે વહુઓને ડાયમંડ પહેરવા હોય, પણ સસરાને બધાને ગોલ્ડ ના પહેરવા દેવું તો શું કહેવાય? તો એ લોકોએ આપણી ટ્રીક કરી કે જ્યોતિષો થ્રુ કેવડાવે કે બિની ડાયમંડ આમ કરશે, તેમ કરશે. એક જાતનો that was created and continue. બાકી ખરેખર એવું નથી. તમે કોઈનું ડાયમંડ માટે પણ એવું કહેવાય છે. તમે જુઓ કે આજની તારીખમાં કોઈનું, જેની પાસે બધા એન્જોય કર્યું છે, બાબરે બી બહુ એન્જોય કર્યું, અને આજની તારીખમાં ક્વીન ઓફ ઇંગ્લેન્ડ એ 90 વર્ષ ઉપરની થઈ, છતાં એને કઈ થયું છે? કોઈનું ડાયમંડ પણ. અને એટલે પહેલા આપણામાં શું હતું કે કાળી હોય ને તો બી આપણે એ ડાયમંડ નતા પહેરતા, પણ હવે એવું છે નહીં. એટલે હવે બધું ઇટ હેઝ બીકમ વન એન્ડ ધ સેમ.
હા, પેલા દાગી વાળા કોઈ લેતું જ નહીં.
પછી લોકો શું સ્માર્ટલી કર્યું કે દાગી હોય ને એને ડ્રીલ કરી નાખે, એટલે દાગી જતી રહે. હવે એને પછી તમે પહેરો કે ન પહેરો,
ગુડ થેન્ક યુ.
ઓકે.
Thank you very much, તમારા બધાનો.
હેલો
You have lent me here so well.
હેલો
Thank you, Siddharth bhai.
Thank
બધાનો
you.
ખૂબ
Thank
ખૂબ
you,
આભાર.
Thank
ખૂબ
you.
આભાર.
Thank you.
Thank you.
થેન્ક યુ સિદ્ધાર્થભાઈ, બહુ ઉપયોગી માહિતી આપી. થેન્ક યુ સો મચ.
Sure, sure. It is my pleasure. Yeah.
ઓ
And in fact, that was my objective. એક તો તમે
તમારો
Indian
અહીંયા
jewelry
જ્વેલરી શોરૂમ
history.
છે?
Google.
હાજી
આપનો અહીંયા જ્વેલરી શોરૂમ છે?
હાજી આ છે ને એ સિએટલ નો ફર્સ્ટ